never safe. But unfortunately, it is legal. 54% of women having abortions. So if you look into an abortion clinic and you look into a waiting room, more than half of the women sitting there waiting to have an abortion were using contraception at the time they got pregnant. What takes place inside of one of these supposed safe and legal abortion clinics is no better than what took place in the back alleys. Abortion is still not safe for women now. It was not safe for women then. My friends, I don't know how involved you are in the pro-life movement. I don't know what you do that's pro-life. And maybe you're not involved at all. Maybe you came here to decide if this is something that you wanted to get involved with. And I'm telling you guys, don't live a life where you have to look back and say, what if I had done more? What if I had spoken up that one time my friend told me she was pregnant? What if I had been more involved with the pro-life ministry on campus? How many babies could I have possibly saved? Whose lives would have been transformed because of my yes? Guys, don't even allow that to happen in your life. See, abortion is not happening today. I mean, let's just sit here and let's think about this. About 3,400 babies die every day from abortion. I mean, that's more than 3 times the amount of people sitting in here today. Every day. 1 in 3 women are having abortions in this country. Every day. 50% of abortions are repeat abortions. We had women that came into our clinic that had 10, 11, 12, 16 abortions. You see, the thing is that it doesn't matter how many abortions you have. It doesn't matter if you have 1 or you have 16. You live with that burden for the rest of your life. And you're forgiven, and you know that, and you know that God takes that away from you. But guys, you never forget that baby. Abortion exists not because of Planned Parenthood or because of these other private abortion providers. Abortion exists because of our silence. Our collective silence, our apathy. I don't think there's anybody sitting in this room that's looking at me and going, oh my gosh, Abby, I had no idea abortion killed a baby. You see, we know it. We know the truth, but to speak out and to deliver that truth is so uncomfortable. We just sit there and we do nothing. I mean, you're here because I believe that you're here because you want to be a people of action, right? I mean, people come to me and they, oh, Abby, I pray for an end to abortion all the time. And I go, that's great. What else do you do? Because, I mean, I'm just going to put this out here. This may make some people mad. I don't care. If you look at me and tell me that the best I can do is pray, then I'm going to tell you that your prayer life is not serious enough. Because if you have a serious prayer life, then that prayer life will move you to action. I had a guy, I'm not kidding. I had a guy come to me one time and he said, I think you're right about doing more. I've decided that he was explaining to me that he had a DVR at home, you know. And he was telling me that instead of fast forwarding through the commercials, he was going to spend that 2 minutes to pray for an end to abortion while sitting in his recliner. And I looked at him and I said, well, that's great, but don't hurt yourself now. It's not enough. It's not enough just to have a comfortable prayer life and say, I did enough to end abortion. It's just It's just not. Not when there are so many women out there that are being fooled, that are being lied to, and so many men sitting right alongside them and allowing it to happen. We are to be a people of action. We are to be a people who lives out their faith, who acts on their faith. Do that. Be pro-life. I have old people come up to me and go, I've been pro-life since before Roe v. Wade. I don't care. I don't care how long you've been pro-life in here. I care how long you've been pro-life here. I care how long you've been acting as a pro-life person. I care how long you have been living as a pro-life person. I don't care how many pro-life celebrities you met. I don't care. I don't care. If you're not living out that belief, I don't want to hear it. Because maybe this isn't as real to some of you as it is to me, but guys, what if we were to walk out of here today and we saw a little 13-month-old baby? You know, babies, they first start to walk and they they walk kind of funny and they fall down all the time. And we see this cute little girl, and she's got like a funny bow and stuff in her hair. And she's so cute. And we're watching her, kind of walk funny with her big old diaper full of pee. And we're watching her, we're just looking at her, and she's so cute, and we're making funny noises that we never make unless we're talking to babies, and we're doing all these things, and we're looking this baby in the face, and this person walks up to this baby and kicks this baby in the face. And then this person begins to stomp on this baby's body over and over and over again until that little 13-month-old girl just was lying there and she was dead. What would we do? Would we walk up to this little girl, to this lifeless body, and go, woo-wee, that was shocking, y'all. I'm gonna go home and pray about that. Or would we be moved to action? I think we would. I think every single one of you in here, I think you would walk up to that body, and I think you would even stand guard over her body to make sure that no one else came to hurt her. I think people would be flooding 911 with phone calls. People would be waiting. They would be wanting to make a statement to the police when they came, because we would be so desperate to find justice for the life of this little girl that was taken. My friends, where is the justice for the 3,400 babies that died today? Where is there justice? What are you doing about it? What are you going to do, you individually, to try to end abortion? You can't do it on your own, and I can't do it on my own, but collectively, we could. But it takes all of us getting out of our comfort zone, getting out of our little box and saying, you know what? I'm willing to be offensive. I'm willing to come out and say abortion is wrong all the time, every time, no matter how the baby was conceived, no matter what the mother's health is like. Abortion, killing a baby deliberately, is wrong each and every time. And maybe you make people mad. Good. My mom always says, if you're a Christian and you're not making somebody mad, then you're not a very good Christian. And I want to echo her words today. It is time to be unabashedly pro-life. And not just for the unborn, but for everyone. Because we believe in the dignity of every person. Last night, my daughter's very favorite thing to do is to make bags for the homeless. And we make all these food bags, and we buy gloves and socks and stuff like that. And we make all these bags, and we usually make about 10 at a time. And last night was our night to go out and pass them out. And my daughter, who's like pro-life, I'd put her against any pro-choice adult on the planet. Like, she would school them on why abortion is wrong. But my daughter, like, she has that childlike faith, right? Because she is a child, and she looks at a person and sees Christ. She looks at a person and sees their beauty. And so last night we had a bag of stuff, and it was at night. So there were about, 9 or 10 men under this bridge, and we walked over there. Y'all, it smelled so bad, like. And these men looked like they had not taken a shower, and I don't even know how long. It was foul, and just the way that they're living is just something that we can't even fully understand. My daughter, she walked away from that, and she looked at me and she said, "Mom, you know what? I just never knew how good it would feel to do something for someone who has nothing." She didn't talk about how dirty they were. She didn't talk about how stinky it was underneath there. She didn't talk about the clothes they were wearing. She looked at them and she saw Christ in them. She looked at them with this childlike faith that most of us don't even have. We don't even understand because we've become so jaded. It's time to get that back. I said that we were lucky because the Catholic Church is the only faith tradition that acknowledges a pro-life sentiment from conception until natural death. We're very fortunate because there's no other. We're not even a denomination, but all the other denominations that are out there, there's no one that says that. It's just us. I have all these people on my Facebook page, and I have a love-hate relationship with all these people. But, I would say probably about 70% of them are Catholic or more. And, I post something about being Catholic or whatever, and it never fails. Like, I'll have all these Protestants come on there, and they'll go, "Well, I don't like how you guys worship Mary, but I do like that you're pro-life. I don't like how you guys worship graven images, but you guys have got it right on pro-life." So even people of other faith traditions recognize that the Catholic Church has it right now, had it right back then, and has had it right since the beginning. It's us. It's just us. We have this knowledge, we have this truth. What are you going to do to live that out? And I know you come to conferences like this. I remember you come to conferences like this, you feel like all jazzed up, and you go back home and you're like, I'm gonna go outside of the abortion clinic and pray 40 hours a week. And, you're like, I'm even going to drop a class because I'm going to be out there so often at the abortion clinic, and you just... Like, you get really, jazzed up, and you're really excited. You're like, well, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to adopt 15 babies. And, and you just, like, you love it, and you're just like, I'm going to wear 15 pieces of Catholic jewelry at all times. And I know, I know. But then you go back to real life. You go back to the real world, unless, you're religious, because then that is your real world. But... God bless you. But all of us, we go back to all the stupid crap we deal with all the time. And then life happens. And then we're like, yeah, what did that girl talk about? What was her name? And we go back and life gets in the way. But it's like, we leave these types of conferences and we have this fire in our soul. And we're so excited. And then life happens and that fire starts to dwindle, and y'all, when that fire goes out, babies die. When that fire goes out, women have abortions and they live with that for the rest of their life. When that fire goes out, y'all, we have nobody to blame for this problem but ourselves. I'm asking you today to make a commitment and to keep living that commitment every day of your life, even when it gets hard. I know it's hard sometimes. I was on the plane one time. I was going to Louisville, Kentucky, and I wasn't real excited about going at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was excited about eating Derby pie. Anyway, I may have eaten a whole Derby pie by myself. Maybe. I was at the airport. We know this. We have this friend that's a TSA agent. I know. That's what happens when you travel a lot. So anyway, this woman, I know, she was like, "Ooh, you're so slim. You're getting so thin." And I was like, I ate all Derby pie. I'm on the Derby pie diet. Anyway. I was going to Louisville, and I was on the plane at 6 o'clock in the morning, and this woman who was a flight attendant, and just let me say, I'm not a morning person, at all. And so, but anyway, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I was on the flight, and this flight attendant that was on the plane, she was real sweet, way too much sweet at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh my gosh. I saw her, bebopping down the aisle with her, cart. And I was like, I just want a coffee and you to shut up. And so anyway, she eventually came to me, and she was like, "What can I get you?" And so I told her what I wanted. And so she gives it to me, and she's like, "Why are you going to Louisville?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just, I'm going for work." And she's like, "What do you do?" And I almost said I was an accountant, but I didn't, because I already had enough stuff to confess that week. So I said I'm a public speaker, and I'll see you later. And she said, "Really? What do you talk about?" And I said, it's women's stuff. That's really what I said. I said, women's stuff, like women's issues. See ya. And she said, "Really? Tell me more about that." And I thought, all right, lady, you're asking for it. So I told her my story and everything, begrudgingly. I did not want to get into this conversation at 6 o'clock in the morning, okay? But I did, I told her kind of the Cliff Notes version, and she was sitting there looking at me, and I could tell, she was about to start crying, and then I thought, oh, no. And I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "My best friend called me last night." She said she's pregnant from a one-night stand. And she asked me what she should do, what I would recommend that she do. And I told her that I thought it would be okay for her to have an abortion. And she said, "But I didn't really know. I guess I didn't really realize what happened to the baby during an abortion." And she said, "When we land, I'm gonna call her and tell her that there has to be another option for her." See, sometimes I don't want to go there. I know, I get tired too. I get tired of saying the same thing all the time. I get tired of defending the lives of babies because it seems so stupid. Why do we have to defend the lives of innocent babies? It seems like that should be a no-brainer, but we do. We have to constantly defend them. And it just you get so weary and you get so tired. But guys, every time we dodge the question, what if I hadn't have told her that story that morning? Maybe she would have driven her friend to the abortion clinic that next day. I don't know. We all become tired, but you're here as groups, and that's when you become accountable to each other, and you say, look, I know you're tired. I know you're tired. I know you're tired of getting flipped off at the abortion clinic. I know you're tired of having Coke cans thrown at you. I know you're tired. I know it. I know you're tired of debating people on Facebook. My God, does it ever end? I know you're tired of it, but you have to keep doing it. Because that one conversation, that dumb little conversation that you're in on Facebook, guys, that could save the life of a baby. And I don't know if you've ever held a baby that's been saved from abortion. But God has given me that opportunity several times, and it is perfection. When I had my daughter, she's the first one, and so I remember, had her, pushed her out, and she was all gross, and I was like, give me her gross little body, and I just couldn't wait to hold her and get that goo on me and love her. You'll get it once you have kids, and I just remember, I remember looking at her, and I remember looking at her face, and she had this little weird lip thing, but anyway, that went away, and I just, I remember looking at her face and thinking, well, I was thinking I wanted a sandwich, but then labor's hard, y'all. And then I got a sandwich, and then I went back to looking at her, and I just remember looking at her little face and thinking, oh man, you are half me and half my husband. I know us. And we somehow created this perfect little person. And I just remember thinking at that moment, nothing is ever going to get better than this right here. But the first time that I held a baby that was saved from abortion, that was even better. Because that baby, my baby, was never scheduled to die. But that first little boy that I held, he was scheduled to die on a Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. But because people like you, because pro-lifers showed up, God showed up. And through somebody just like you, he saved the life of that little boy. Man, there's nothing better than that. Nothing you can do is cooler than that. Now is the time. It's time to get serious. It's time to get motivated. It's time to make a commitment, and it's time to stick with it. It's time to be pro-life. I'm done here, but I want you to leave feeling encouraged. I wasn't going to stop until I heard them stop. I'm going as long as they're going. But I want you to be encouraged, because I know that sometimes it gets tiring, like I said, and we get tired of doing the same thing, and we're like, are we really making a difference? One life makes a difference, because abortion affects so many generations. We don't even know who we're missing because of all these babies that have been aborted. It's generational. It's huge. It's beyond anything that we could even imagine. And so that one life matters, but people get really bogged down in the numbers. Am I doing enough? Am I saving enough babies and all this? And they say, gosh, look at all the money that Planned Parenthood gets. Look at all the people that they have that support them. Look, it doesn't matter who they have on their side. And it doesn't matter how much money they have on their side. Because we have the one guy that matters, Jesus Christ, and we have the intercession of his mother, and we will end abortion, and we will end it on our terms. We will do it the right way. We will do it the compassionate way, and we will make abortion unthinkable. Thank you guys so much, and God bless you.
Every single one of us, by virtue of being made in God's image and likeness and by virtue of our baptism, are called to be saints. The fruitfulness of doing simple things with great love. God, when he loves you, he holds nothing back. He makes a free, total, faithful, life-giving gift of everything that he is for your benefit. I want to stay in the love of Jesus, to rest in his love. How is God loving you right now?